What if I told you the person who ruins your peace the most isn't your enemy, but your own reaction? Think about it. How many times has someone said something small, and it stayed in your mind all day? How many times did one message, one look, one comment completely shift your mood? Before we go deeper, do one thing. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stay till the end, because what you're about to hear isn't just philosophy. It can change how you handle people, your emotions, even your love life, because the truth is, the moment you stop reacting is the moment you become powerful. There's a story about Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, an emperor who commanded armies, controlled an empire, yet struggled with something very human: his emotions. He was surrounded by betrayal, criticism, disrespect, people who lied, people who manipulated, people who tried to break him, and yet he remained calm, not because life was easy, but because he trained his mind. Today I'll walk you through 10 powerful Stoic lessons inspired by Marcus Aurelius that will teach you how to never get angry or bothered by anyone again. Let's begin. The first lesson is understanding that people act from their own nature, not yours. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that when someone does wrong, it's because they don't know better. Think about that. When someone insults you, it says more about their inner world than yours. When someone disrespects you, it reflects their character, not your worth. But we forget this. Instead, we take everything personally. We assume people are attacking us, when in reality, they're just expressing who they are. Imagine this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your heart races. Your anger rises. You want to react, but what if, instead of reacting, you simply thought, this person is in a hurry, or maybe they're careless? Suddenly, the anger loses its power because you're no longer making it about you. The second lesson is that you always have control over your reaction, not the situation, not the person, only your response. And that's where your power lies. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that no one can harm him unless he allows it. Read that again. No one can harm you unless you allow their words, their actions, to enter your mind and disturb your peace. Picture this. Someone criticizes you harshly. In that moment, you have two choices: react emotionally or observe calmly. Most people react, but the Stoic pauses, and in that pause, there is freedom, because when you stop reacting instantly, you take back control. The third lesson is to expect difficult people. This might sound strange, but it's one of the most powerful ideas. Marcus Aurelius would start his day by reminding himself, today I will meet people who are selfish, rude, dishonest, and arrogant, not to become negative, but to prepare his mind. Because when you expect people to be difficult, you're not shocked when they are. And when you're not shocked, you're not disturbed. Think about your own life. The reason you get angry is because you expect people to act a certain way. You expect respect. You expect kindness. You expect understanding. And when they don't meet those expectations, you feel hurt. But what if you changed the expectation? What if you accepted that people will disappoint you, and you chose to stay calm anyway? That's strength. The fourth lesson is realizing that anger hurts you more than anyone else. When you're angry, who suffers? Not the person who insulted you, not the person who disrespected you. You do. Your mind becomes restless. Your heart feels heavy. Your peace disappears. Marcus Aurelius saw anger as a form of self-harm, and if you really think about it, it is, because you're allowing someone else's behavior to control your internal state. Ask yourself this: is it worth it? Is it worth losing your peace over someone who may not even care? The fifth lesson is to see life from a higher perspective. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself how small everything is. Your problems, your conflicts, your anger in the grand scheme of life, they mean very little. Imagine looking at your life from above, like a bird flying high in the sky. That argument you had, that person who annoyed you, that moment of anger, it all seems so small, and when you realize how small it is, you stop giving it so much importance. The sixth lesson is to pause before reacting. This sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Most anger happens in an instant. Something triggers you, and you react immediately. But what if you created a gap, a small pause, between the trigger and your response? In that pause, you can choose. You can choose calm over chaos. You can choose silence over reaction. You can choose peace over anger. And that one small pause can change everything. The seventh lesson is to focus on your own behavior, not others. You can't control people. You can't control what they say, what they do, how they act. But you can control yourself. Marcus Aurelius believed that your character is your responsibility. So instead of asking, "Why are they like this?" ask, "How should I respond?" Because your response defines you, not their actions. The eighth lesson is to practice empathy. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior, but you understand it. Everyone is fighting their own battles. The person who insulted you might be struggling inside. The person who disrespected you might be insecure. When you see this, your anger softens because you're no longer seeing an enemy, but a human being, and that changes everything. The ninth lesson is to detach from the need for validation. A lot of anger comes from ego. Someone disrespects you, and your ego reacts. Someone disagrees with you, and your ego feels threatened. But when you stop seeking validation, you become unshakable because your worth is no longer dependent on what others think. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. And without that need, there's nothing to defend. The 10th and final lesson is to remember that everything is temporary. This moment, this anger, this situation, it will pass. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life is short, so why waste it being angry? Why waste it holding on to negativity instead? Choose peace, choose calm, choose to let go. Because at the end of the day, your peace is more valuable than any argument. Now think about your own life. Think about the last time someone made you angry. What if, instead of reacting, you had applied these lessons? What if you had paused, understood, and let go? How different would you feel? How much lighter would your mind be? This is what Stoicism teaches, not to suppress emotions, but to master them, not to avoid people, but to understand them, not to control the world, but to control yourself. And when you do that, no one can disturb your peace, no one can control your emotions, no one can make you angry unless you allow it. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this: you have a choice. You can react or you can rise above, and the moment you choose to rise is the moment you become free. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.